Hi, and welcome to Tea Break. This is Transit the City's new podcast. And for the third talk today, it was on allyship. And today's guests are Skye Morden and Linda Riley. So, Linda, you're the publisher and owner, I guess, of DIVA magazine. And Skye, you are a serving police officer. So let's start with you, Linda. Could you just explain, what is allyship to you? Why do we do it? What's it all about? From the point of view of a very well-known magazine.
Yeah, I'm also the founder of Lesbian Visibility Week
right.
as well. So I wanted to.
Yeah,
It's all around our work as well, and we did that using the platform of DIVA. But I would say my role as publisher is to oversee the general strategy of DIVA magazine. I've been publisher since 2015, and what I wanted to do was really help evolve DIVA to be a more inclusive magazine, both in terms of editorial and imagery. I thought it was really important as an ally myself and a cis lesbian to really showcase the fact that that cis lesbians are trans inclusive, because there was coming a time where people actually started to think that maybe all cis lesbians were somehow transphobic, and I really wanted to use our platform at DIVA to overcome this myth, if you like.
Yeah, I mean, that has been a really kind of prominent thing with DIVA. I've noticed that myself. I do subscribe to the magazine, and I have noticed, that there's a lot of interviews with, guests, obviously lesbian guests who are very transportive and inclusive, but you do see in the media that, if you didn't know about your magazine, you would assume that, most lesbians are cis lesbians, just because of the negativity out there. I mean, so, and how have you kind of overcome that preconception?
Yeah, well, by doing exactly what you've just said through the magazine, and it was, a very difficult. We did get a lot of stick on social media about it, but and I don't want to make it sound like we're complaining, because we're not. We're very proud of what we're doing, but personally, I go out and about and I meet a lot of people, and for a while when I first became publisher and I was being introduced to my trans siblings and non-binary siblings, I felt a really frosty atmosphere coming through. It was because of some kind of assumption that because I was identifying as a cis lesbian, that I was also transphobic, and it really got me thinking that we need to do more at DIVA, editorially and through lesbian visibility as well, which is also inclusive of all LGBTQIA women and the non-binary community. But I wanted to do something in my role and really use my platform to showcase the fact that the vast majority of cis lesbians are not transphobic, and I think we've really done a long way to showcase that.
I think you have. I mean, that message has come really kind of loud and clear to me. Just by reading the magazine, it's obvious that message is coming across loud and clear.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. And Skye, as a serving police officer, do you get a lot of support at work in your role? Because I know you're very visible in what you do. Do you get a lot of support from the general public and your colleagues at work?
My journey within the police has been really an emotional roller coaster. When I first came out, so in my day job, I'm a Taser lead instructor for 4 forces in a region, and I'm also a public order, public safety trainer. So I teach cops how we deal with groups of people, community events, how we deal with low-level protest, and all the way up to large-scale disorder that we potentially saw in 2011. And we get around about 8,000 cops through our training centre doors every year. And I have to say that I found a family, that I have been given a lot of support from the police, from the organisation. And they've been there for me through some terrible times. I'm very, very, very visible because it's incumbent on me, I think, like Linda, to try to engage with you engage with your readership. I need to engage with my colleagues and with the public, just to show that trans people were just normal people, and being visible as a Taser instructor, possibly the only visible that I'm aware of trans Taser lead instructor in the world. There's a lot of media interest on me, and the far right has had a lot to say about me. There are millions and millions of hateful comments printed about me personally online and in the media, and the police have seen that. I was working a football match because that's my bread and butter, and I like to keep operational credibility. And I was working a football match not that long ago, and I was standing on a seg line, standing between two sets of fans at a football match, and I had an entire stand singing insults at me. Shortly after, at a different game on a different day, I was working the football again, and I was policing a football stadium just so the fans didn't two opposing groups of fans didn't escalate into violence. And again, likewise, I had hundreds and hundreds of people singing songs at me, is it man or is it woman? And the police see that. And the police are really, they, in my experience, are stepping forward to actually say that is wrong, and stepping in to actually challenge that. And for me, that's really, really taken me by surprise, because you look at what's printed about police at the moment, we can't seem to do right for doing wrong, and yet my experience of the police has been absolutely brilliant.
So have you, over the years, have you seen things improve in terms of, how the police view you and the support you get at work? Is it improving?
Absolutely. I haven't had any major bad experiences. When I first came out, people were, I think, interested. People were certainly talking about me behind my back, that I'm very aware of. But, I went and did an event, and I had, at the briefing, I had about 200 officers coming up to me, shaking me by the hand, patting me on the back, saying, "Hi Skye, how are you getting on? So you're with us today, that's brill. Got somebody who actually knows what they're doing." And I think it has been getting better and better. When it comes to my dealings policing frontline with the public, it's been getting progressively worse over recent years. It's been the opposite of my experience with the police.
Wow, I'm shocked to hear that.
Yeah, the public has been, normally day to day most people are okay and they seem to be accepting, but when you're out in uniform, the abuse that I get is something else. Everywhere I go, I get comments. Look at that, that's a bloke, that's a tranny, look at that effing thing. I get insults shouted at me when I'm in uniform. And I think the police are seeing that, and the police are realising that actually what it really does mean to be trans, and the abuse that can come our way.
Yeah. And then, you've been involved with Trans in the City for quite a while now. So what is your role within the organisation?
So I'm working as part of the Ally stream, but I'm also trying to pull together good practice from the public sector, so from the emergency services. What's good practice? What do we do in our organisations? What do we do in the NHS that's good? What do we do in the military? The military has gone from being very, very homophobic and transphobic to actually being really staunch allies of trans and LGBT rights, and pushing a more inclusive workforce. So I'm trying to bring those work streams together to try to actually bring that good practice.
Yeah, amazing. And Linda, you've been involved with Trans in the City for quite a while. I know I've seen you at quite a few events over the years. I mean, is that kind of your personal commitment to allyship and helping out the trans communities? Because it's really, the fact that you are such a visible person out there, owner of a magazine, it's quite a big thing. You're very well known. I mean, you bring that kind of allyship to Trans in the City every time you attend these events.
Yeah, the good news, we've actually 2 years ago I won Trans Ally of the Year at the Trans City, and last year DIVA won Trans Friendly Organisation of the Year. So those are exciting times. But for my personal commitment, I mean, I'm a total believer in all strands of diversity, and you know, when I hear comments like you're making, Skye, you know, I just get enraged that this is still going on in 2023. But yes, it's my personal commitment, it's the commitment of DIVA magazine, but it's also about my personal values, you know, not just being a publisher.
Yeah, and I saw you down at Chippenham Pride earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really interesting event. You know, to go to a little pride like that and have, you know, people like yourself, you know, Lord Cashman, Lisa Power, Peter Tatchell. There was, you know, some big names there. I thought it was a really great event because, you know, there's not many times when you can go to a pride and you'll get that lineup, you know, just on the side. It was really good.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. It was a fantastic event, and the reception that we were all receiving was really great as well, and it was good to see. And it's just, I think sometimes when we talk about Pride, you know, you think London Pride, Brighton Pride, Manchester Pride, but these, these regional prides are really, really important, and it's really important for the community there as well.
It's such a unique thing
loved.
to have, isn't it? A speaker stage at a small pride like that with those big names. I mean, I think it's totally unique. I can't think of it anywhere else where that's been done.
I haven't seen that, and it was just really good to see, and it was a real feel-good factor there.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
It was great. You were there too, Skye, weren't you?
It was brilliant, and the whole day was just joy after joy.
It was wonderful,
and it was brilliant.
It was.
And the one thing that really, events like that brought it home, was that actually it shows how many allies there are out there. Because, you know, it's very easy for me to feel that I'm swamped and that I'm this target of hate after hate after hate. And it's really easy to lose sight of the fact that actually people do care, and people have got our backs, whether it's in the police in my organisation, whether it's people like you that take a lot of flack for just standing up and saying, you know, I stand with you and I stand with trans, and it's just such a wonderful thing to actually see.
I mean, you're literally on the front line of abuse because you're a police officer. I mean, even if you weren't trans, that you'd still get abused. Yeah. So you know, it's that extra thing that people abuse you about. You know, it's really awful to hear what you just said about how you get treated at times. I hope things improve.
It's not always like that, you know, and it's the simple fact that we have people like Linda that are willing to stand up for us, and willing to stand up with those, you know, with those big wings around us to say, I've got you, and it's such an important thing, and it means so much.
Thank you.
It does mean so much.
Yeah, so thank you both for having a quick chat with me. Really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the rest of the events, and hopefully we'll speak to you again soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.